Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here, and today I've got a friend of mine who is in New York City, actually in Times Square. His name is Carlos Siqueira, right? Did I say it right, Siqueira?
Yes, Siqueira, my brother.
Siqueira. All right. This is my good buddy Carlos. He's from Brazil, and he's actually out in New York for his book launch for his book Work Like an Immigrant. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to have him on here and just talk about what Carlos is an awesome guy. He's just like so full of energy, so full of life. A really inspiring guy, doing really cool stuff. And I actually met Carlos at Tony Robbins at a Tony Robbins seminar at Day with Destiny. I bumped into Carlos and we started talking. And then before I know it, like I'm sitting down and I see Tony call him up on the stage, right? And it's crazy, So I'm like, wow, this is cool. So I started following him, on Facebook and seeing what's going to happen with his career after this. And then lo and behold, I was in the MGM lobby at like 5:30 a.m. and I run into him again. So it's like we start hanging out, and like I like to one of my favorite words is serendipity, and that's serendipity right there. So. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing amazing, man. Better now. Just hearing from you, Isn't a John an amazing guy? This guy, man, he puts smiles on my life. He's my brother from another mother. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy to be here and being alive, man. It's just like it's fate, you know what I mean? Serendipity and fate, you know what I mean? All those things that are happening from, Tony Robbins, being on that stage and then meeting John and crossing paths again. And then, you're just doing amazing stuff, man. And I love, aligning myself with people like us, you know what I mean? Because it's the like-minded people, because we can all raise each other up. And, Like, this is a very meaningful week for me and a meaningful time, just launching the book, Work Like an Immigrant, and being here. And even talking about those things, serendipity and fate, you know what I mean? It's just like, I always say, if I'm alive here today, it's like for a reason, for being so many near-death experiences growing up in Brazil. And I remember, when I was a kid in Brazil, being in alignment with my friends on the street. And I will go on the street and I will go sell the bread. And I will go to busy areas like this. You know what I mean? And I know exactly where they're going to go before they're going to get their bus to go to work, when they came back from work, when they're going to cash their check. And they were hungry. So I will sell my bread at those areas where the people were, because there wasn't no social media for them. And then I'll help my friends sell their bread. We'll do something different. You know how we do it with the whistle. Bread. We got the
I'm
magic
still trying to
bread.
learn that whistle. I've been practicing, but I can't get it yet.
The Brazilian whistle, baby. But it's like that. Since the always you raise each other up. We were poor as hell. We were broken. We were hungry. We were in the hood in Brazil, but we all had a dream, right? Just like you had a dream, and then you are consistent, brother. With your podcast, with your products, with your, every single thing that you do, brother, and it shows, right? You are consistent, and you operate from the heart, not from the head. As we learned from Tony and many others, right? If you're in your head, you're dead, and that's how we should operate, right? Everybody, man. It's all about contribution at the end of our lives, not acquisition, right? It's about the mission, not the commission. So if we can bring more people like us together, to everybody raise each other up, where there is no ego involved, there is no BS, everybody winning together and sharing each other's strategies and what is working for you, what is not working, what is like a question that you don't have an answer to. Let's solve those problems, and then everybody keep raising each other up and holding each other accountable, because that's what most people, they fail sometimes because of the accountability. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's very true. Very true. I agree 100%. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing there with your book, and what is your book? What is your book? Work Like an Immigrant. What is it about?
So, Work Like an Immigrant, man. I'm over here in New York at the Book Expo. I was doing a book signing, talking to a bunch of folks in the media, doing a bunch of interviews, and I had serious radios this morning. And man, it's basically, I've been journaling about this book since I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Selling bread on the streets, having some near-death experiences that was either end my life or reframe my problems and focus on what is right, because what is wrong is always available. So after journaling for 27 years, since I was 6 years old, have all these thoughts on a paper, and I extract them all and start sharing and putting them into a book format when it talks about the experiences. I call the 9 keys to unlock your potential. attain through fulfillment and build your legacy today, not tomorrow. So it's like, think about it as like a shortcut to success by operating from your heart. As I was mentioning earlier, raising everybody up as a unity, as a family, where everybody wins. You know what I mean? Where I'm gonna challenge people is gonna be loaded with strategies. It's gonna be loaded with tips. It's like one of those books like Think and Go Rich, Outwitting the Devil. One of your favorite books.
Yeah.
This book, I have a lot of emotions in it. I write like I speak. So I want people to, when they have a problem, when they go anything in their life, I want them to be able to go in it, open up in any page, and let's say, right here, control your mind, control your destiny. Let me read you guys over here a paragraph, for example. The New Thought movement, which began in the early mid 1800s, can be best summed up by the belief that all of life happens through us, not to us.
Right.
To the New Thought proponents, the mind is a spiritual force that creates whatever reality imagines, either consciously or subconsciously. Imagine the perfect mate, that person that will find his or her way into life. Imagine it being wealthy. Imagining you receive the money and the possessions you envision. Imagine yourself, being the perfect parent. And you will be that parent. On the other hand, if you think consciously or subconsciously, that money is the root of all evil. You will have more expenses than income. If you suspect your spouse or have an affair, he or she will likely cheat. Yeah. If you worry that your business will fail, it will probably fail. You know what I mean? So it goes deep and deep and deep. So many things it's like a memoir / business, family, strategy, tips. I have all these sidebars with like life lessons. Like I would write something and I'll have a sidebar. Let's say, for example, life lesson 29, change your focus, change your life. Many of my friends noticed how much progress I had made in such a short period of time. And they asked me, how did I did it? I would tell them, change your focus, change your life. If you focus on the fear of being deported and not making enough money to pay your bills, that's exactly what you will get.
Yeah.
I advise them to focus instead on acquiring what they wanted, whether it was a job, a car, an apartment, or something else. Just taking a positive step towards obtaining it, such as learning a skill or getting a job. So when I was an immigrant to this country, I act as I was an American. You know what I mean? Every day, I used to train Americans. I would give people from prison a second chance because I wish that somebody would give me a second chance when I was in the hood in Brazil. I wish that somebody would show up. You know what I mean? Like when my grandfather come in and would abuse me or my grandma, we would put a furniture and we'll push against the door, and I would sleep under her below the hammock, and I have a little sword. And my grandma used to read me, Les Brown Coats, shoot for the moon, son. E você vai chegar nas estrelas, and you will reach the stars. You know what I mean? Yeah. You stay hungry. Greatness is within you. And she say those things in Portuguese over and over and over again. And that shit, bro, it became better in my life. Exactly. And every time I was in my head, I don't have food, I'm hungry, I'm on the streets, I'm getting hurt. I say, screw that. What is wrong is always available, so what is right? What can I focus on right now to make a change? To go help a brother on the street. Yeah. You know what I mean? Somebody has worse than me. What can I do right now to go help somebody that's even in a worse situation than what I was? And I apply those elements in life every single time. So every time there was a problem, I always reframe it. What else can this mean? What is 10 other ways that we can unleash the power within of us? We have this unlimited power within that we can unleash at any time. As long as you're not in your head, because in your head you are dead. But if you're not in your head, that's when the magic happens. You are present, you are here, and you know it's gonna be mine. Whatever it is that you want, yeah, baby. And you don't care. We over here, it's live, it's on Times Square, you know what I mean? People watching it, but I'm just happy to be alive, man. You know what I mean? I've seen death so many times. I'm just happy to be here. I'm humble to be here for you to be interviewing me. You know me. I just appreciate every single thing in my life. It's a bottle of water. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything, man. You know what I mean? And when you operate from gratitude and we trade our expectations for appreciation, bro, every single thing that you want, it will happen as long as you have faith. You know what I mean? You believe and you have faith and you pray and you stay engaged in that faith and you write it down your goals and you have people like yourself and myself around you and to raise each other up, to hold people accountable. And like we hold our followers accountable and our clients and people that we manage and that we mentor, and then everybody raise each other up. little by little. As long as you don't let it go, because like people probably heard that quote. Winners win and losers lose. But if you hang yourself around winners, you put yourself in the Warriors team, in the Chicago Bulls from 1995 with a bunch of Michael Jordans and Scott Pippen. You know what I mean? It's like you're not gonna lose.
Exactly.
And you surround yourself with those guys, and maybe you cannot afford those guys yet. But you do something for them. You go crew for them. You go, find a way to be around them. You know what I mean? Right. Just like as we did. We came from nothing, and now we're doing it amazing. But the training never stops. We keep pushing it. So it's like a lot of amazing stuff, man. It's like when I hold this, it's a lot of emotions in it. It's like at any time, like people can just go in it and just open up a page and just like, boom, that was just a different perspective. That's what I needed to hear at this moment in my life. Now let's go. Let's go, build and lead. And I love mentoring teams and training teams and speaking to the masses. And I love it, seeing in their eyes. And I love when they go home and they apply some of those strategies, and then they write or they email, you know what I mean? And I love sharing the stuff that the gurus are teaching, because many people, they cannot afford go to those masterminds.
Exactly.
And I love teaching those things for free, because, it's like treat others how you wish to be treated. Share what you are doing to make money. Don't BS people. Don't give them stuff that's not going to get, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, because at the end of the day, like, you don't want your kids to ever hear that your father or you did, somebody else wrong. And I think the more that we challenge, leaders, gurus, speakers, consultants, coaches, and mentors to do that, to operate that way, the more that we are going to raise each other up, and then have a bunch of us all over the world. And then we speak in, you know what I mean, in those third world countries, in those communities. But you know what I mean? It's a lot of emotions, man, in this book, dude. A lot of memories.
That's good. And just for you guys, this is Carlos. This is no act. This is no show just for the camera. This is Carlos 24/7. Every time I run into this guy, he's got this much energy. It's an inspiration. Like, you're around someone like Carlos, you get energy, right? You receive his energy. It flows. Let's give a shout out to. We got a bunch of people. We got a bunch of people watching us live here. Logitech. Thank you. He actually tipped us $2. So got Zach here, Serdar. I'm a professional programmer. Harshit. I see. I get that one. All right. Bob over there. James, Freddie, Nans, Ilan Hassani, 12, Jordan, Oil Reed, Mihai. Got a lot of cool people here that are really enjoying your content, enjoying your energy. So that's cool. I can't wait to get a copy of my book, man. I just did the pre-order today.
Hell yeah, man. You're going to get a special one.
You guys got to get a copy. Where should they go right now to get a copy of your book, to pre-order it?
You're going to give them a short link, all lower capital, bit.ly. So B as in boy, IT as in tango, .ly /Carlos, CARLOS, book, BOOK, all lower capital. So bit.ly, bit.ly /Carlos book. Just make sure that the C for Carlos is also lower capital, because if anything is different, it will go to a wrong page. But it's all capital, and then they can go there. Amazing stuff there. They can pre-order, one book, and they can buy a few books and get some bonuses, and then a proceeding of those books is going to go to the Unstoppable Foundation, which I'm very happy, you know what I mean? They're doing big things where the money goes directly to the kids. You know what I mean? They have these sponsors that pay for the management fees, are very low, their fees. So the money goes directly to the kids. $25,000 can actually build a village in Africa and support 70 children and 70 families for a whole year. And then we teach them how to be self-sufficient after that. So they're able to raise their own money, make their own money. So I'm big in contributing, making it happen in Africa, in Brazil. You know what I mean? It's like going back, because I was the kid one day. I was the hungry kid in the streets. Yeah. And I wish that people would come and would speak with us. People would come and they would donate and they would show us how to make money, so we'll be self-sustainable. So, you know what I mean? It's like, and I love what they're doing. Bob Proctor is on their board. Like Jack Canfield, a bunch of amazing people there. Cynthia, she's a CEO. So I'm very happy. I normally don't give shouts to that many foundations, because I know so many of them, and I speak for so many of them. But this one in particular is the one that I'm actually going to be donating a huge portion of the book. And I'm very proud of some of the stuff that they are doing out there. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, but like I said, it's all about contribution, man. You know what I mean? Not acquisition. I tell and I challenge people all the time, man, celebrities and people with money. It's like they don't care how much you're worth it how many goddamn cars you have, or how big is your house. They care how much you care.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna matter, man. At the end of our lives, you know what I mean? How many people are gonna show up when you know what I mean? When you're dead. You know what I mean? It's like, what are they gonna say on your eulogy? You know what I mean? It's like, that's the stuff that's what it matters, man. You know what I mean? It's like us making a difference right now, like inspiring. Just do whatever it takes. Like, not care if you gotta, you know, be on the middle Times Square doing an interview. I'm glad that you guys can hear me. You know, people hear it, and then you just hear it. And, you know, people walking around and they hear it, and then they pause and then they listen and they do thumbs up, and then you never know how much that impacts somebody. Maybe that was the one thing that they needed to hear. Exactly. Maybe this interview over here, like they hear you over and over again, always bringing it on your podcast, bringing the energy, sharing a lot of amazing stuff, and they needed to hear that. Especially a lot of people, you know, you and I know a lot of people in tech, a lot of people that, you know, they're in the computer, they're solopreneurs. Right. They at home all day, you know what I mean? My biggest advice for you guys is just to take those hourly breaks. Every hour, just take a break, a mental break, and disconnect. You know what I mean? Do like a little Rocky Balboa move. Just do a little, go outside for a run, do some incantations. Everything that I need is within me now. You know what I mean? And just lay down on the floor, release all your muscles, and just breathe, and just release, and just let it go. Any problems, anything. You know what I mean? Give yourself that gift, because, you know what I mean, when you're in computer, in the office all day long, that thing eats you. You know what I mean? It's like, and you gotta disconnect, go for that run, go work for my Starbucks, go put yourself around people. You know what I mean? That's a huge advice for anybody. All my tech brothers and from another mother out there. You know, I live in the Silicon Valley, so I talk a lot with those guys out there, man, about mindset and how to disconnect more often. You know what I mean? To bring it even more, because, you know, I mean, you guys are geniuses. That's not my thing, you know, technology. You know what I mean? I know that you're amazing with that stuff, John, but, you know.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's good advice, because you definitely need the social element to it, right? Like, you know, that's why I like to stand at my standing desk, you know, get moving around and break up my day. Otherwise, it's just like otherwise you're in your head. You're in your head too much. Yeah. In fact, that's what most of the tech guys, they're in their head, right? That's the thing, is that's the problem that they have. It's good because you can get a lot done, because you can solve problems, but you miss the real part of life, right? Which is all of the rest of that, right? Life becomes meaningless if you're just in your head all the time. So yeah,
man. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, always breaking, because then this way now we can have like that true fulfillment. Like, you know, like I'm always, you know, talking about to unleash and bring your true potential. Because, you know what I mean, you guys in tech are so intelligent, so smart. Like, we need you guys, especially right now with this whole new era of IA, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality. You know what I mean? The other day, I went to Tony Hsieh's house in Vegas. I wish you were there, but the next time I'm gonna take you there. Here's a little cool machine. You sit on it, put this little, you know, thing on. It's cool as hell, you know. And then, but you know, it's just like you gotta do different things. You know what I mean? Because you have to disconnect. So now you become even better. You know, you can create even more things. You know, even more. You know, a startup that you're having problems with. Now you can fix it, because you're giving yourself those mental breaks.
Yeah.
And you're releasing, you know what I mean? It's very important. Like, if you want it, coding, I have no idea about coding, none of that stuff. But if you want it for like 2 hours on it, like all day, then if you give yourself 10 minutes to do something totally opposite, I'll go outside for a run, you know what I mean? Lay down on the floor, go climb a tree. I don't care what you do, as long as it's way opposite. When you do go back at it, now you're so focused, so re-energized, because you did the complete opposite from that task. And that's huge. You know what I mean? Even for me, that is, I'm in the mindset world, and you know, I met with a few celebrities and CEOs and Navy SEAL guys, and you know, these people, man, sometimes they do suicidal, they depressed. So I gotta be on my game to be able to, you know, break the pattern, you know what I mean, and jolt them. And then whenever you go to a tough session, you'll be able to, all right, now, you know, somebody died or got kidnapped or some shit like that. Then I gotta go and disconnect from that session, reset it, prepare for the next session. I'm gonna go take my daughter to the park. You know what I mean? And then there's another huge advice, guys. Create a metaphorical switch. When you guys go back home all day long on those computers, have a switch in your garage, and you press that switch. Take off the Mr. Genius hat, now put your husband hat, your boyfriend hat, you know what I mean? Your brother hat, your sister hat, and ask yourself, how can I be 3 times even a better parent? How can I be 3 times even a better friend, even a better sister, husband, and wife? And disconnect from all the computer shit, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it sucks the greatness out of us. You know what I mean? That's another huge advice. Having those metaphorical switch in the garage. You can even grow something in the garage and just put on and off and just press that button. When you press on and off, have some memories that really makes you feel happy and anchor those memories within you. So a huge advice that I always tell people that operate on the computer all day, startups, people in the tech world. This thing that helps a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great to have that trigger. You got to have some kind of trigger, some kind of anchor that's gonna switch you into the state, because we all have those what are they called? They're submodalities, right? We all have
Yep.
the submodalities for different situations, and you can control those submodalities. You can bring them out, right? And that's really important. So that's cool. Yeah, good advice. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing. What's your business now? What are you helping people to do primarily?
So basically, I sit on a board of advisors in several companies. My partner and I, we own a company called Expert Advisor Alliance. And we come in businesses when they are having problems. And then we solve their problems, and based on whatever they're having problems converting. Let's say, for example, a lot of coaches or consultants, speakers, service providers are having problems with their sales. They're having problems converting, or they stuck, and they need to please the board of advisors that their stock's gotta go up. So then we jolt everything in, we look at their messages, we look at their conversions, and then we re-engineer their message. We call message to market match. And then one thing that we use also, we use legacy acceleration principles. I call speed to market, speed to profit, so that you invert, I call the convoluted sales funnel process. So instead of you going from a funnels approach, here a book, a membership site, a course, and then you're coaching or consulting or speaking, whatever is that big item that you have, then we're like, let's invert it. Start with the end result in mind. Start with your highest ticket, whether it's your mastermind, your inner circle, your retreats, your certification program. We also do like white label, like co-branding. So we help people build those things. We help them build the inner circle, or if they want to do a mastermind, because all of us, we are very intelligent. We have years of experience in something, whatever that is, in tech, in mindset. Maybe if you come from the military, you have all that training. So that intellectual property that you have in your head, the IP, you extract that, and you can create a mastermind or an inner circle or like a mentoring program. Or if you come from leadership in the corporate America and you burn out and you want to start your own consulting or coaching business, then you learn so much. You take that IP, then we help you create a perfect message to market match. We help you create a keynote, create your messages, create the systems to sell it, create your 30-second elevator pitch, your 5-minute keynote, 45 minutes, how to sell it from the stage. We call how to build a killer coaching business from the stage. And then whenever you have a problem, you on stage, you call us, role play it. Okay, now go and execute. You know what I mean? You're having problems converting. You call us up. Let's look at your message. Let's re-engineer your entire business, your entire message. Or if not, just maybe band-aid it. Curated a few things. Now go and take it to the masses. Our biggest thing is making sure that your deliverables are on point. That whatever you sell, is going to give somebody a result. That's one thing that we're always big in, having a vetting process to work with people that you are in alignment with, people in the same level, people that want as bad as you do. Because, you know what I mean, it's not easy. You got to go over there, we help you build and everything, but you still got to get out there and execute it. Talk to people, talk on stage, talk to meetups, talk to corporations, pitch and talk to them about what you do. Add value first. Show them. Get a few case studies. Get a result for 5 to 10 people. Great. Now you got those results. Now showcase them to the world, because that's also going to build yourself up. So it's a very unique process. We can only work with like 25 people every 6 months. So we have a very strong vetting process to making sure that, for our own IP, because we have about 18,000 hours of intellectual property that we built over the last 18 years on the client side. So people having problems creating content and things like that, we do like white label co-branding with them, and then we get a percentage and they go and then they sell it. You know what I mean? And then we help them build it, whether they bring you or they experience speaker, guru, coach, or CEO, whatever they need, we help with. So it's a very done for you and done with you process. It's very compelling, because I love those guys. We challenge them to give back, 10, 20% of their money. Let's go build more schools and more hospitals and feed more kids out there. And then, you know what I mean? I'm very like systems driven, my partner and I. I'm always telling people, you got to shift from a goals approach to like a systems approach. And then you systematize, you know what I mean? So now you have systems in place. So now you can take your trainer hat off, you take your manager hat off, put your legacy hat on. Because a business, no, go out of business. But a legacy will never go out of business. You know what I mean? And I'm big when it comes to being like a legacy builder, you know what I mean? And helping people build legacies, not just another business. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's very feeling. For me, it's like a passion. I'm the guy that speaks from the stage, get everybody fired up. My partner is more like professorial, more like a systems guy. Yeah. He pretty much invented the ebooks. He was awarded by like Adobe back in the day. He was behind many gurus. So he does all the systems. I do all the speaking, keynotes, fire everybody up. And then I love it, man. It's like a partnership. You know, I always joke, you know what I mean? A big advice for you guys as well. Whenever you're selling something from the stage, you have a partner that's the complete opposite from you. Like, you know, Johnny, like you're like me fired up all the time. You need somebody opposite from you, bro. And then it works very well. Like my partner, get everybody calm, like, and I come in and like, holy shit. And then he comes back, you know. So that blending, it really helps. So that you're able to really, you know what I mean, get your system anchor in their body so that you go back home next week and you get some results for your business. It's just not another mastermind or another meetup or another event or another inner circle, whatever it is that you do, making sure that you're implementing, having no key things that they can implement, that you give them certain things that they can go back home and apply in their business, make some money, give them results, share them what you are doing to make money. You know what I mean? And then they're going to come back. Separate yourself from the outcome. Don't go into that transaction with a CEO or with an HR person or with the decision maker. They're going to hire you to get a speaking with like, what is in it for me? No, how can I help you? You know what I mean? How can I add value? Let me come in and speak for your company for free. Give me a chance. I did that at Silicon Valley, man. I would go to the CEOs 30 times. Nope. I would say next. And then, you know, and then until one day, all right, Carlos, just come on and speak with us. Exactly. And then I would come in, bro, and I would speak and I would rock the house. So now next time, dude, come in, here's 10,000, here's 20,000, talk to my team, train them, fire them up. You know what I mean? Because why? I kept at it. Consistency is key. Like I said earlier, it's not easy. It's not like you make money overnight. But how bad do you want it? I mean, it's like you love doing podcasts. You love adding value. It's not easy. Have massive respect for you, bro. Because you're consistent. You know what I mean? And it shows on your body. It shows on how you are. It shows on everything that you do. How you are here. When you are in person. When we are hanging out. We are the same exact person. You know what I mean? And I have a massive respect for people like you out there. Straight up, man. You are a true example of working like an immigrant on steroids, operating from the heart. You know what I mean? It's like, and I love that, man. I appreciate the hustle. You know what I mean? People that like, you know what I mean, really want to help people. That want to add value to people. That want to impact lives. That when we are dead and we're no longer here, 50, 100 years from now, you're going to remember, you know what I mean? Those guys were here, man. You know what I mean? When they write to us, thank you for being the podcast. Thank you for doing the live. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. And because of that podcast that you did, John, or because of that live that you did, Carlos, I'm alive today. You know what I mean? Nothing's more fulfilling and priceless than that. When you hear somebody email you or write you or text you, how can you put a price on those things? You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, yeah, man. Yeah. No, I appreciate it, Carlos. Yeah, I appreciate what you said. That's cool. I got actually, you know what? Someone asked a question here. I thought that Julius asked Carlos how to be so confident as you. I would like to hear the answer to this too. So.
You know what? I wasn't like this, man. I wasn't like this at all, man. You know what? I think everything started when I was a kid, man. When I was a little kid, I mean, I went through so much that, you know, when I was very little, you know my story, Joe. My father died in a car explosion, and my stepfather was murdered. And, you know, I had to help my mom. You know what I mean? I got to a point where I was tired of seeing my mother suffer and being abused behind closed doors. And, you know, it got to the point where, you know, I wanted to take on my own life as a 6.5-year-old kid. And I saw myself, bro, with a knife in a kitchen. But, you know, God spoke to me that day. You know what I mean? And he said, you know, kid, why don't you reverse every single thing that's negative into positive. And then he reminded me that your future, it doesn't have to equal your past unless you take those stories with you. You know what I mean? And from that day on, man, I'm just so thankful to that little kid and to God that I follow those advice. And then I always reframe it.
Yeah.
Every time that I feel myself like anxious, or when I used to go on stage before, I would shake, bro. I was like, oh, dude, my hand, especially when I had to talk about those things. Before, I didn't allow myself the feeling. I would go on a stage and I was like, oh yeah, my father died in a car explosion. My stepfather was murdered. And everybody was like, holy shit. And you're just like talking like nothing. And then I allow myself to like really pause and allow those feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kept reframing it, and I kept reframing it over and over again. I kept, you know, walking around on the streets and just focusing on, one day I got robbed. I was 7 years old. I was selling bread on the street. The guy put a gun on my head. I was focusing on, damn it, I was more upset because I want to bring the money to my mom so that we can save enough money faster to come to America. I worked from age 7 to 18 every day so that we can save enough money to come to this country. 11 years, bro, every day. And though I always focus on the end result, I was always focused on the goal. And every time I was afraid or worried, I would do something to break my own pattern. Like when I was having those feelings of dying, I would know how to imitate people like Donald Duck. I would break my pattern. I would do the whistle. I would give myself like a red card or like a yellow card. Don't go there. I would think like, Guns N' Roses or like AC/DC. I would know how to imitate those guys. Right now I can't because of my voices, as you can see, it's all jacked up.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I would sing. I would play soccer. I would go do martial arts. I would go climb a tree. You know what I mean? And then I always focus on breaking my pattern and going and helping somebody else on the street. Because I saw how that helped me, and I would go help one of my friends that were hungry on the street. And if I only had the rice to eat, I'll bring the rice to the street, and I'll have them close your eyes. Yeah. And now imagine eating a nice piece of meat, and that meat salivating in your mouth. And now imagine your favorite character from Disney here. And I would see the physiology, the whole body change. And that gave tears to my eyes because I was a little kid. But I have this imagination and I have this dream, right? Because my grandma put it there in myself. Keep shooting for the moon that you will land among the stars. Even if you don't get to your end result, but if you make your big audacious goal so big and you break it down into small steps, and every day, man, you just do something small. Exactly. And you're consistent and you have faith in yourself. Even if somebody doesn't tell you they love you, somebody doesn't tell you that you are amazing, somebody doesn't tell you that you did a great podcast or you did a great live or you wrote a great book. Nobody has to tell you that. You can tell yourself. Exactly. You can look in the mirror and you look inside your eyes and you can hug yourself. You can kiss yourself. I guess you cannot kiss yourself. I guess you can kiss your man. You can cuddle. And there's a lot of things that I used to do, very creative and imagination as a little kid. And I think a combination of those things to break my pattern when I was anxious or crying in a room when I was alone, as a kid and didn't have anything. I didn't have any father figure. And I break my own pattern. I have to build this person that I became today. And I think it's a series of events and, breaking those patterns and reminding myself. What helped me a lot, like for you guys, for all the speakers out there, the people that speak on stage, for the stage fright, before you guys gonna do a live, or before you're gonna go do a podcast or go on a stage, tell yourself this question: how can I F this up? You do that, and it'll be like, because now it's no expectation. You just traded all expectation. Let's just go, no script. Like look at right now, right? Right now I'm right here. Here's the table, Times Square. Ain't no script. It's just me operating from the heart, right? Just like straight heart, through wisdom and life lessons and experiences from over the last 8 years. You know what I mean? On the streets, working 11 years in the streets of Brazil, 10 years in the streets of America. I trained like so many people, man, on the streets. I was telling somebody yesterday. I went to the whole last time I was here, bro, in New York. Was 17 years ago, bro. Oh, I was on the top of the World Trade Center, bro.
Yeah.
September 9, 2001.
Wow.
And then I never want to come back here again because of that. Some of my friends passed, my friends' friends, you know what I mean? And that day, I was just barely, very new in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm back here, you know what I mean, with this amazing book, you know what I mean, to doing this lunch. And then with all this, it's just a lot of memories. You know, I met one of my friends last night that, you know, used to hang out back in the day when I first came, that helped me when I was here. And, you know, just talking about those memories and talking about reframing the problem. Like whenever there is a chaos, whenever that's a tragedy in a country, where you go there, and how can you bring certainty to uncertain times?
Yeah.
Like whenever there was a shooting in Vegas, you know, I was supposed to be speaking there. So then I come in, I printed a few hundred copies of my book.
I was there for the shooting.
You remember, bro?
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of engaging with everybody else, I was like, how can I bring certainty to these uncertain times? So then I will go to the streets and I will give books to families that were affected, people that were angry and then they would have hate inside. Like, no, let's reframe this.
Exactly.
Let's focus on what is right, because what is wrong is always available. You know what I mean? So much shit. Unfortunately, negativity sells. But you know what I mean? If you are into inspirational speaking or positivity, even if you don't get that much results at the beginning, because people love negativity stuff, because that's how we've been embedded in ourselves in society. You know, look at how CNN and all these big corporations, there is negativity all day long. Right. You know what I mean? Like, turn off that channel. You know, turn into John's podcast. Come and check John out on Facebook. Come and check myself on Facebook. Come and check all the people that you relate to. Whenever you have a problem in your life and you come in and you listen to John's podcast and you, boom, get some new perspective in your business. How to become even better at tech, with your startup, with your business, with your systems. You know what I mean? It's like bringing more of this. We need more of this. We need more people like us out there. And we need more people like our listeners just to, boom, to step the game up, like to raise it, to push it. You know what I mean? I always say, bro, one of the keys to success is doing what others can do, won't do, and won't think of doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Write this one out. This is major. Like, what can you do today, right? When you guys go home and you write, okay, what can I do right now that my competitors won't do, can do, and won't think of doing? Yeah. How can I create a mind-blowing result for someone else right now? You know what I mean? And then, key number one, set goals that are way beyond your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, write this down, guys, because writing is the thinking part of doing up the brand. Second key, make sure that you are master self-talk.
Yes.
The conversations that you have internally is going to show how you talk to the world.
Right.
It's going to convey in your body language and how you talk. All those elements, bro, that I've been building over the years, they help me a lot with the confidence, being able to, whenever like this, on the spot, be able to adapt. Like right now, you know, like a bunch of noise in the back, scoop, stuff happens. We cannot control, you know what I mean? We cannot control at all, you know what I mean?
But you think about yourself as what other people will think about you.
Yeah.
So true, yeah.
Damn, that's so powerful, man. Write that one down, man, guys. When you think about yourself, that's what you know what I mean?
That's right.
You straight up, or do I look cute? I look ugly. Am I fat? Am I skinny? You know what I mean? Like, you know, when I'm out John, man, John looks like Superman, man. I'm like the overweight Wolverine. You know?
I love what you said though about reframing. Reframing is such an important concept, right? It's like you can take anything and you can view it through a different lens, right? Everything bad you can see as good. Everything, you know, you can see things as adversity or as a training to grow, right? You can see the good from anything if you choose. It's just a matter of teaching people to reframe, right? Their stories. The bad stories are the things that can fuel you, that can change your life, that can make an impact. I mean, even, you know, I was just beginning of this year having a bit of depression and just still kind of going through it. But now I'm thinking, you know, I started thinking about it, I started saying, well, this is good because now I'm able to relate to people that are going through the same thing. Like I'm going to go through this and I'm going to have something to come out of this. Right. And I'm going to be able to help people. Whereas if I never go through this, then I'm never going to have something to tell someone. Right. It's like, it's all about the reframing. I think it's really important concept.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate, you know, you being honest, John, because that's what it takes, bro. It's like being honest about our feelings and it's speaking up. Because you and I, every time that we talk, it's always like, you know, when we are one-on-one, it's always mind-blowing. We always come up with amazing ideas and strategies and, you know, adding value. And then if we have a problem, that's no ego. We talk about it. John, I have a problem on this area.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? How would you do it differently? You're having a problem, you know, like you say, with the depression, and then being open, because people that might see us successful, whatever, you know what I mean, whatever definition you can call it, they see us, you know, on stage with celebrities, or, you know, interviewing an athlete, or, you know, being on the stage with somebody that's very famous, but they don't know how much stuff that we had to do to get there.
Exactly.
How much stress, how much depression we went through, all the invisible price that we all had to pay to be where we are today. And not only that, whenever we go back home, you know what I mean, same old stuff that you guys all go through. There's no thing such as a perfect life, guys. Trust me. When I go back home, why would I come back home from a trip if I don't take my family with me? My wife is trash day, damn it. Don't take out the trash.
Exactly.
You know? And then if we're having an argument or something, oh shit. Yeah, she's like, she knows me already. She's like, don't you come here with your Tony Robbins shit.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So guys, the struggle is real. You know what I mean? We have problems just like as you do. You know, somebody in the team, they leave because somebody else at Silicon Valley want to hire them to do something else. Or somebody in my team the other day, they leave because they want to start speaking and they want to create and do their own business because they learn all those things from me and they saw, oh good, I want to do my own thing now. And this is somebody that you think is going to be always working for you. You know what I mean? I have two choices. I can be angry about it. I'm going to miss the person. You know what I mean? We're all human. We all have feelings. The secret is, like John is saying right here, guys, is like having no ego. Like just being honest and being able to open up to somebody. If it's not your spouse, like it's John, it's myself, somebody that you trust, that you call that person, that you find a friend that is similar or higher level than you, that's going to hold you accountable, that you feel confidently open up with, that's going to raise each other up. Because John and I know that if we call each other, if we're going to open up about something, it stays here. You know what I mean? But John and I, we like an open book. For us, it's like, we don't have a problem sharing about this because that's what it takes, guys. It's this level of honesty, integrity, faith, like John Well is talking about serendipity. You know, things that doesn't, everything happens for a reason, man. In life, you know what I mean? In Portuguese, we used to say, let me see if I can translate this, is God's right in twisted lines. I don't know how to translate it, but ain't no perfection out there, but you can always perfect your craft. Very, very key element. Guys, if you try to be perfect, you're going to have so many expectations. You're going to compare yourself to others. I have all these celebrities that call me, I want to kill myself. I lost purpose in life. Like, come on, you got millions of followers. You got a Grammy, or you sold millions of copies 10 years ago. You are comparing yourself with the goddamn Kardashians or with somebody else that has hundreds of millions of followers and you have a few million still. Come on, give me a break. You got millions of people that depend on you. You have a responsibility to share how do you get there, to get out of your head, because if you're in your head, you are dead. Operate from your heart. Focus on reframing it, like we're talking about earlier, reframing it every day. Have a reframing thing that you do it consistently. Start recognizing those thoughts coming in. Give yourself a yellow card. Wait a minute. And then if you see yourself really engaging and really start calling effed up shit in your head, then you give yourself the red card. And then you go and you listen and you open up this book, Work Like an Immigrant, and watch it. It'll break your pattern. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's like the little things, man. It's like the perspective, right? Like when I'm talking to John, John has so much wisdom. He's so intelligent. I always love talking to you. Every time we talk, it's always some mind-blowing stuff, some crazy ideas we come up with. And then, oh, John, I know this person over here that you should meet, and vice versa. You know, and then, but it's because why, guys? It's because the consistency. We write it, we see it, we talk about it, and when we're out there hanging out, partying, having fun, we tend to attract, or we tend to walk through someone that could help us too, and we could help them, vice versa. Like, you know, we walked into the hotel and we met the guy that runs the entire event, and then Joe, you know, hey, you gotta meet this guy Carlos, man. He's in the circuit. You know, he's a big-time speaker, keynote, mindset. You know what I mean? It's because, but why? It's because I could reach out to the guy. They probably wouldn't get it back. But now, you're always looking. I'm always looking to more gigs to go speak and to add value. And because of what we focus on, now we attract. And you just never know. You know, whether you're in Vegas, in LA, or now I'm over here in New York, Like right now, a bunch of people around me are looking at me. Some of these people are dressing in a tie and a suit, doing like, hell yeah. They might be like CEOs. They might be, you never know. They might be like, damn, I want to get your number. I was like, okay. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
it's crazy. I'm doing a live at Times Square the other day, and people were like around me. And I was like, that's some real talk. I need your number. Let's talk. You never know what the chips may fall. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? People
Yeah.
come in and speak for my company. I didn't do the live with that intent. My
No.
intention was just to talk about inspirational stuff, talk about the book, how meaningful it changed in my life, how meaningful it changed so many other thousands of others' lives, because that's the stuff that I shared throughout my life and to help people. And I speak about that in prisons, in schools, you know what I mean, on the streets of third world countries. And I see them changing, bro, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I'm operating in this level, guys, of vulnerability and let it go. All the
Exactly.
perfection. Watch the
Yeah.
magic happens when you do
That's
that,
the
man.
key. That's the key. The vulnerability, being willing to put yourself out there, not worrying what other people think. That's it. You're just being
Yes.
authentic, and when you do that, you're gonna some people maybe will laugh. Doesn't matter, but you're going to
Yep.
attract more. You're going to attract the right kind of people. You're going to attract the
Yep.
kind of people that you want to attract. You don't want to attract the kind of people that you have to put on a show and be fake
Yep.
to attract, because they're not going to be your people, right?
Yep.
When you're out there, when you're authentic, when you're being yourself, you're attracting the right kind of people. You're attracting the people that resonate with you, and then
Yep.
when you resonate together, you attract more people that resonate. Like it's that's the cycle. That's so yeah.
That's so true. Like for example, and then talking about the reframing,
Yeah.
another key important thing, reframing it.
Uh,
Know that if you're gonna do a podcast, if you're gonna go live, if you're gonna write a book, let
yeah.
me tell you something. They're gonna hate. They're gonna talk shit.
Exactly.
Some of your best friends, then they're gonna stop talking to you because now you right here. They see you like taking off because you
Yeah.
want to help the world. They don't understand how you think. What is your big why behind? You guys know my why is to help humanity, to help feeding the kids against hunger, to help build the schools, to teach those kids in third world country, because that's what I was. Because I
Exactly.
believe that all of us, we have a voice within ourselves, and I believe that every single one of us can do a lot of more, can push beyond the comfort zone. So when you guys pre-frame it, guys, this is a key one right here, guys. Multi-million dollar advice. Just pre-frame yourself ahead of time before
Yeah.
you start up, before you go live, before you speak, before you do a podcast. They're gonna hate. They're gonna talk shit. The other day, I did a live. I have a few rentals, and one of the landscapers didn't show up, right?
Oh yeah.
So I have two choices. It's actually on the video that I did for the book launch. I
Oh
did a little
yeah.
funny thing there, but you know, my point here is this. It was very funny video. I'm cutting the lawnmower in the backyard, and I'm dancing suavemente, besame, and I'm dancing, cutting the grass, you know, with the sombrero on my head. Had this
Yeah.
silly, having funny. I wasn't selling anything. I was just being silly, just talking about BS. You know what I mean? And inspirational stuff. People was like, "That was so cool. Why did you say?" I'm like, "No, that's not. I don't. That's not me. You know me, John. I'm all about value, value, value. You know, Johnny B said jab, jab, hook. I would jab 300 times before I ever hook anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've been asking me about the book. But you see, the point was that video.
Yeah.
Can you believe that I had people in third world countries and that were like calling me like names, like what a fag, stupid, this and that on the video. But you know
Oh yeah.
what? I got so now I have a choice. Can I engage with that person? Or just like let it go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because hate is gonna bring more hate. You have two choices, guys. They're gonna. So that's what I'm saying. Whatever you are doing now, guys, you have a startup, you coding, you inventing a new app, you inventing a new product. They're gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
Venture capitalists are gonna shut you down. But guess what? Those VCs, they might not have similar goals than you. Maybe they're not into that idea. Figure it out what those VCs are about. Study them. Know what is important in their lives. Know what is their mission statement. Know what they're about. Because remember, it's not about you. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
not about you. It's like about, you know what I mean? It's like making it so when you start pre-framing and knowing those things ahead of time, pain and suffer disappears. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's so
Big
true. It's
time.
so true.
You know, just
Reframing, yeah, very, very huge. One of the things, like, that it's like when you go for a run, right, or you go for a hard workout. If you imagine it's going to be easy, it's pain. But if you imagine it's going to be pain, the Stoics did this, the Stoic philosophy, right? They would contemplate, what is the worst thing that could happen? How could this be bad? Looking at that already and accepting it, accepting the worst already. And once you accept the worst, then whatever comes, it doesn't matter. And everything above that is gravy. Everything is good because you've already accepted the worst. You've already accepted that people are going to hate you, that it's going to be pain. It's going to be, right? And so many people, they want it to be good. And they're expecting good, and then they get disappointed because it's all about expectations, right? Your expectations are too high. If you don't have expectations, then everything is good. Everything that comes to you is a bonus, right? Life is a bonus.
Yeah, man. Like when I was talking to Les Brown about this, you know, he's like, whenever he started doing his videos on YouTube, he will get 1 subscriber in a month.
Yeah.
That was Les.
That's
Mother F. Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Legendary, #1 inspirational speaker on the planet. So if you think about it, right? Les Brown, there was Les Brown, had 1 person for the whole month. So don't have no expectation when you start your YouTube channel, when you do your lives, when you do your podcast. At the beginning, like John, myself, we didn't have that many people show up. No. But you know what? If you build it, they will come. You heard that. If you operate from the heart, they will come. If you're not in your dead, you already know in your head. See, if you're not in your dead, in your head, you're dead. If you're not there, if you're here, guys, that's the place, man. Operating from the heart, just having joy for life, having to being happy that's another day on this planet, and just know that today is your day. You know what I mean? And just know that that's what you focus on. And then you don't live as you have 1 more day. You live as you have 1 less day.
Yeah.
If this is gonna be my last interview, my last podcast in this planet, I want to make sure that I'm gonna make it count. Exactly. I want to make sure that I'm gonna go all in. Ain't no separating. You know what I mean? Ain't no holding back. You know, from strategies or helping somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like go home. You know what I mean? It's go all the way in or go home, baby. You know, and that's what we need, man. As society, as speakers, as mentors, as leaders, we need that, man. We need, you know what I mean? This level of like integrity and faith and truth. And no ego, and to help each other, to help raise, you know what I mean? One person at a time. Like you said, John, earlier, no expectation, man. Exactly. You keep trading them. Every time you see yourself expecting, break your pattern. Let me trade all my expectations for appreciation.
Yes.
What can I be grateful for right now? I'm grateful for, you know what I mean? Like my water just fell over here on the table, and then, you know, the water went down, and then I got it on my bed, but there was a little bit of water left. And I was like, I'm grateful there's still a little bit of water left. You know, that was internally my own thought versus like, oh shit, water, my badge for the book thing that I gotta go back, you know, shortly to the book expo got wet. But I got 2 choices, right? I can engage or I can follow what I preach.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm grateful that the water. I'm grateful that thing's gonna dry later. You know what I mean? It's
and
like,
it becomes a habit when you get that mindset, right? When you give yourself the yellow card or the red card, as you said, you do the pattern interrupt. You say, oh, no, this isn't me. I don't think negatively like this. I call yourself out. And then pretty soon it becomes automatic. As soon as you go down that bad road, it comes back. You snap back. You're sitting, you know, I'm sitting in traffic now, and I'll start to get angry. And immediately I'll sense, I'm like, oh, this is funny. Because you're like, what are you angry at? You're angry at life, at circumstances, right? This is crazy, right? And then, but it's a habit. It's a habit, right? Just like the habit of dwelling on the anger and looking for the wrong. Like some people have that habit ingrained in them, and they look for the bad things. And everything could be wonderful, and they'll find the one fly in the cake. They'll find the hair in the cake. You know what I mean? Right? And the delicious cake, and they'll find the hair in it because that's what they're trained for. That's their habit. But if your habit is the other, like you said, like you spill the water and you say, oh, what's good here? Then you see all the good.
Yeah, but you know it's funny because, you know, and then it's like, guys, you know, let me tell you something. Like John and I, we're human, just like you guys. Like you say, we still feel those feelings of, you know, depression or sadness or anger. We feel it. The difference is that we don't stay there.
Exactly.
We feel it. You don't want to fight the emotions. You want to let them in. You want to journal them. You want to talk to a friend. You don't want to fight it. It's not like, oh, I will never feel those feelings. I want to make sure that, oh, thank you. Now, come on, stop. You know, allow yourself. See what I did? You know, because why when I talk about those things, in your mind want to remind you about, oh, what is anything wrong in life? And you're like, no, hold up, let me just break my own bed right now, being silly, you know? And then like you're saying about the car. The other day, I had a bunch of family members in the car.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? That there was the train was passing, and you already know, John, what I probably did, because we learned that from Tony's event. When you see the train coming,
oh yeah,
oh, you're like a kid again, like yeah. You don't get pissed off. So they were all angry in the car, and I say, hell no, not in my car. I opened the door, I went outside, and I was like, life will never be the same. And they're like, what are you doing? And then I was just jumping outside the car. All the people in the other cars, they were like, this guy's crazy. So now I broke everybody's pattern.
Everyone's pattern, exactly.
In my truck, in the cars around me. And I was like, why? Dude, it's the train. If I know that I'm going to get late, I will leave earlier. Don't give yourself unnecessary stress for no reason. You feel me? So it's like that. And then we create those habits, guys. You know what I mean? But like, we know we're human. You know, but conditioning, reframing it, reframing it, you know, having faith in yourself, believing in something, you know what I mean? Having something to look up to, you know what I mean? Who depends on you? You know what I mean? Who is that? Maybe if you don't have kids, maybe, you know what I mean, you adopt somebody overseas, you know, you send them $20 a month and you write to them and you're adopting them, you know, in another country. Whether you're speaking or you're donating to a cause, that cause depends on you. That, oh, people come to me, I don't need to make more money. Maybe you can make a little bit more. You can donate more. You can help more people. Make sure that you have a lifestyle too. Making sure that you have a number that is about the money. Making sure that, okay, you know, this month you're gonna afford for $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month. What that is? Oh, hold on. I think a cow came in. Let me just decline it. Whatever that is, no, it's all good. Whatever that is, right? You have a number. So now you have something to look up to. And when you get to that number, you have a lifestyle, because when you play soccer, it's a hobby. When you play football, it's a hobby. When you get paid to do it, it's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Same thing as what you do. You know what I mean? You're a coder, you have a startup, have joy. Treat it like a sport. Have fun. Have enjoyment. You know what I mean? And bring those mindset habits. Some of the things that John and I talk about over here, like a lot of wisdom here in this life. You know what I mean? We're so happy that we did it, that I told John for us to get together, you know, and doing this, because, and even as we're talking over here, John and I, we think about stuff, you know what I mean, our own lives, you know, businesses, you know, in our friends, because, you know what I mean, it's like, it comes out. We have subconsciously, we are so intelligent. And I highly, you know, encourage all of you, take 5 minutes today and just go right as fast as you can, so that you bypass your conscious mind and you go into your subconscious. You know what I mean? What do I love about my life? You know what I mean? What am I great for? What am I well known for? Ask your friends. Go on your social media. What am I well known for, guys? I'm doing a branding experiment. What am I known for? And ask other people. Whatever that thing is, you know, start there. Whatever your end result is, start there. Re-engineer it. You know what I mean? Start from the end result in mind, because now you're going to be more joyful whenever you are doing your startup. What is the end goal? Is it do a startup? Is it sell it later so that you can go build, you know, schools and hospitals, you know, help to the hungry overseas, like some of my plans? Or it's something totally different. Whether you're going to buy a bunch of houses and rent them, or you want to buy, you know, airplanes and lease them. I don't know what your goal is. Whatever that is, you know, buy a bunch of helicopters and do helicopter tours. You know, go buy a hotel in Vegas or in Jamaica, Costa Rica, in a resort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever your goal is, start there.
Exactly.
And then you start building yourself up by surrounding yourself around people like John, like myself, whoever you identify with, and build yourself up. You know what I mean? If you cannot afford that person right now, it's okay. Find ways. How can you add value to them? How can we go crew for them? Oh, you're a chef. Maybe you can come in and you can cook. You know what I mean? Dinner. You're a landscaper. You come in and cut the grass. You know about, you know, whatever is that thing that you know for, and you go add value to others, more values than anybody else ever add to themselves, and you watch the magic happen. Exactly. And you watch the magic happen. I mean, it's very, very powerful, guys.
That's the key. That's the key. Yeah, you guys listen to Carlos here. I know some of you are like, oh, you know, what is this? What are they talking about? This is the important thing, right? It's you got tactics, you got strategy, you got execution. That's great. But if you don't have the right mindset for doing these things, you're not going to be successful. If you don't surround yourself with the right people, you're not going to be successful. This is the key. If you don't have that confidence, if you can't reframe things, if you can't interrupt your own patterns and interrupt other people's patterns, it's not going to matter. You're not going to be successful because you're not going to make it. You got to make it. You got to make it in order to get there, and you got to be doing it for the right reasons. So
true.
We should probably get going here, but man, you've added so much value, my brother. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I wanted very much for you guys to meet Carlos. He's a good buddy of mine, awesome guy. His energy is real. It's authentic. Just to show you the power of this. I mean, you cannot watch Carlos. You cannot be around Carlos and not feel the energy and get excited yourself. So this is a powerful, very, very powerful thing. And I want you guys go get the book. Work Like an Immigrant. If you can pre-order it, Carlos put out the link. Yeah. And I'm excited. I can't wait to get my copy of the book. But I
appreciate it, John. And I mean, it's a pleasure, brother. I mean, I love being around you and your energy. You know what I mean? The energy that you guys put out there, guys, is the energy that come back. If you are walking joy, if you are walking love, if you are walking faith, guess what, my friends? You're gonna become a human magnet, and you're gonna attract amazing people to your life, like John and I attract to each other. We have so many amazing friends that we have. The people that we attract, our tribes, our followers. It's because you keep focusing that. That's who you are. Yeah. And you believe as that way for the rest of your life. I really appreciate you for having me here, man. It's a deep pleasure. I appreciate everybody that want to help support with the book. You know what I mean? You're going to be not only helping supporting with the book launch, but you're going to be helping a lot of kids overseas in Africa. And again, you guys can go to the link, bit.ly/Carlos book, all lower capitals, B as in boy, I as in India, T as in Tango, dot, L as in Larry, Y as in Yankee, /Carlos, CARLOS, book, BOOK, all lower capital. And then I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me and to those kids that I mentor overseas, to those villages that we're going to be building over there. So we're going to be making a huge impact. $25, you can pre-order a copy, or you can get a signed copy for $100, and you get 2 extra copies to give it to somebody else in need, somebody else that you love, because, it's so hard to mentor your spouse or your partners or someone else. But, maybe you can have somebody else like John, like myself, to mentor that person through a podcast or through a book or through a live that we did. You know what I mean? And that person like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? They're going to get you them thinking. Because sometimes they don't listen to us. I always never try to coach your spouse, your mom, your kids. You know what I mean? But they listen to their friends. You know what I mean? Another great tip right there, guys. But hey, John, thank you so much, bro. I love you, man. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for having me here. I love all your followers, John, man. I love you guys. Thanks for the questions, for the support, for the likes, the shares, man. You guys rock, man. Keep following this guy over here, man. John is the man. He's the rock Superman. I love this brother over here, man.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. Have an amazing day.